Welcome to the most regal of countdowns, where we delve into the darker side of British history. For centuries, the British monarchy has been a symbol of power, prestige, and pageantry. But behind the crowns and tiaras, some monarchs have left a trail of destruction, despair, and downright evil in their wake. From treachery to tyranny, from madness to murder, we're counting down the 8 worst British monarchs in history. Join me as we explore the dark underbelly of the British throne and uncover the secrets that have been hidden behind the royal veil. So grab your favorite cuppa, get comfortable, and join me as we count down the 8 worst British monarchs in history. 8. King John, who reigned from 1199 to 1216, is often considered one of the worst monarchs in English history. King John's most significant mistake was his refusal to accept the Magna Carta, a document that limited his power and established certain rights for the nobility and the common man. This led to a significant loss of popularity and weakened his authority. King John had a complicated relationship with the Catholic Church, which led to conflicts over taxation and control. King John's military campaigns against France were disastrous, resulting in significant losses and damage to England's reputation. King John was known for his excessive spending and tax increases, which led to widespread discontent among the nobility and common people. King John was accused of betraying his nobles and allies on multiple occasions, including the infamous murder of Archbishop Stephen Langton. 7. King Edward II of England, who reigned from 1307 to 1327. Edward II's military campaigns against Scotland and Wales were unsuccessful, and he often left the kingdom vulnerable to attacks from both countries. He lavished favors on his male lovers, known as Piers Gaveston and Hugh Despenser, which led to resentment among the nobility and created a sense of instability. Edward II was known for his stubbornness and refusal to listen to advice from his counselors, which often led to poor decisions and disastrous consequences. He wasted the royal treasury on lavish spending and lavish entertainment, leaving the kingdom deeply in debt. Edward II's treatment of Piers Gaveston, a favorite, was particularly brutal, culminating in his murder in 1312. 6. King Richard II of England, who reigned from 1377 to 1399. Richard was only 10 years old when he became king, and his lack of experience and immaturity led to poor decision-making. Richard centralized power in his own hands, ignoring the advice of his counselors and nobles, which led to resentment and discontent among the nobility. He was profligate with the royal treasury, squandering wealth on lavish spending and lavish entertainment. Richard's military campaigns against Scotland and France were disastrous, leading to significant losses and damage to England's reputation. Richard's favorite, the Black Prince, was known for his cruelty and brutality, which further alienated Richard from his nobles. Richard's rule became increasingly tyrannical, with allegations of torture, murder, and forced confessions being used to suppress opposition. In 1399, Henry Bolingbroke, later King Henry IV, returned from exile and deposed Richard II, imprisoning him in Pontefract Castle where he died under mysterious circumstances. 5. William the Conqueror, who reigned as King of England from 1066 to 1087. William's conquest of England was marked by violence, bloodshed, and widespread destruction. He imposed harsh laws and punishments on the native English, which led to resentment and rebellion. William and his troops pillaged and plundered the monasteries and churches in England, leading to significant economic and cultural losses. William disregarded traditional rights and customs of the English people, imposing Norman customs and laws instead. William had a complicated relationship with the Church, often clashing with Pope Alexander II over issues like the investiture controversy. William was known for his harsh treatment of those who opposed him, including the killing of William Fitzosborne, Earl of Hereford, who was a loyal supporter of Harold Godwin's son. William's administration was marked by corruption and nepotism, with many positions being given to Normans rather than Englishmen. William imposed heavy taxes on the English population to fund his military campaigns, leading to widespread poverty and discontent. 4. King George III of the United Kingdom, who reigned from 1760 to 1820, is often criticized for his role in the American Revolution and his later descent into mental illness. George III's policies towards the American colonies were deeply unpopular, leading to growing tensions and eventually the American Revolution. He refused to grant the colonies representation in Parliament, leading to feelings of taxation without representation. He imposed taxes on the colonies without their consent, including the Sugar Act, Stamp Act, and Townshend Acts, which led to widespread protests and boycotts. After the war, George III refused to pardon loyalists who had fought against the revolutionaries, forcing them into exile or imprisonment. In the late 1780s, George III began to experience mental health problems, including episodes of insanity, which lasted for over 10 years. He was a strong supporter of the British East India Company and played a key role in its growth and expansion. 3. Queen Mary I, also known as Mary Tudor or Bloody Mary, was the Queen of England and Ireland from 1553 to 1558. She is often considered a bad monarch due to her strict adherence to Catholicism, her persecution of Protestants, and her attempts to restore Catholicism in England. She ordered the burning of hundreds of Protestants at the stake, earning her the nickname Bloody Mary. Mary was fiercely anti-Protestant and believed that anyone who refused to convert back to Catholicism should be punished. Mary's reign was marked by fear, violence, and terror. She used the power of the state to crush opposition and maintain her control. Mary's attempts to restore Catholicism ultimately led to a loss of power for the monarchy. Her harsh policies alienated many English people, including some members of the nobility and the gentry. 2. King James II of England and VII of Scotland, who reigned from 1685 to 1688. James II was a devout Catholic and sought to restore Catholicism in England, which led to widespread opposition among Protestants. He revoked the Declaration of Indulgence, which had granted religious freedom to Catholics, and instead issued the Royal Declaration of 1687, which aimed to restore Catholicism as the official state religion. James II believed in the divine right of kings and ignored the authority of Parliament. He dissolved Parliament in 1685 and ruled without their consent, leading to widespread resentment. James II suspended the Habeas Corpus Act, which allowed for the arbitrary arrest and imprisonment of individuals without trial. James II's military campaigns were unsuccessful, including his attempts to retake Ireland from William III's forces. 1. King Edward VIII, who reigned as King of the United Kingdom from January 20, 1936, until his abdication on December 11, 1936. Edward VIII's decision to abdicate the throne in favor of his brother, Prince Albert, Duke of York, who became King George VI, was unprecedented in British history. This led to a constitutional crisis and a sense of instability. Edward VIII's desire to marry Wallis Simpson, an American divorcee, was deemed unacceptable by the British government and the Church of England. The marriage was seen as a scandalous and unconstitutional. Edward VIII was known for his selfish and indulgent lifestyle, which often prioritized his personal desires over his royal duties. Edward VIII had no experience of governance or public service before becoming king, which made him unprepared for the role. Edward VIII's devotion to his mistress, Wallis Simpson, created divided loyalties between his personal life and his duties as king. And there you have it, our countdown of the 8 worst British monarchs in history. From incompetence to cruelty, these monarchs left their mark on British history. Not always for good. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more historical content.